shotgun. Who was that?
Yes, you do have
Is it-
permission to post the vids.
Okay, here we go. How many pages is it?
No idea.
Oh my god.
By the time he's done, I'm gonna leave.
How many parts are there, Ruth?
5.
5. Is that it?
Alright, I will go now. Bye.
Okay,
Wow.
Goodbye now.
Why?
Wait, I'm getting a drink first.
Okay, how about I read The Faulkner Swamp?
Really,
If you
you
want.
can read while all the people are like freaking spitting behind you.
Question mark, question mark, question
Wow.
question.
The first moment I joined Bali.
Bali leaves.
Okay, so
Yeah, I'm gonna go get a drink. I might be back in time to read it.
Guys, there's a W.
Shrek and Donkey were finally together, and
Shrek
they
has
lived for
swag.
Alright, come on, stop it.
until Shrek got a
Shrek has
letter in the
swag.
mail from the doctor. As Shrek
My voice
opened
is
it,
absolutely
he
absolutely
and then
annoying.
cried.
I'm not reading anything.
Donkey annoyed him what was wrong, but Shrek just handed him the paper and then
Oh yeah,
Donkey grabbed it and then
Alpha.
began to cry as well.
What?
The doctor read,
Uh,
Dear
I
Shrek,
can't hear anything
today
because
I
of
am sad.
the roof, man. Come on.
Ah, goddammit, I'll just shut up.
Doug?
Just big stalker read it.
Yeah, I know. That's what I said.
Okay, I'm back.
Oh, for God's sake.
Oh my god, what the hell was that?
Who changed it to Wyvern?
Why them?
Why are the
Wyvern.
templates
Wyvern.
changing?
It's with him.
Look, what is going on? Look, the thing, it's not a list anymore. Doing this.
Are we really doing this? Are you really making me do this?
What are you doing?
Reading.
Yeah, dude, go.
What's up, guys?
You're
Welcome
really
to Week.
making me do this.
Yes.
Okay.
And the same rules will apply. The same that that Polly had. Which means if he stops talking, he gets banned. Okay.
Here we go.
So yeah.
Would everyone in the regular voice channel please mute their microphones?
Well, if you haven't
Okay.
been hearing the words damn Daniel in the last 24 hours, you've not been on the internet.
The hell is this?
That thing. Okay.
Okay, shut up, I didn't know, sucker.
Okay.
Can't believe I'm doing this, for fuck's sake. Chapter 1, A New Beginning, by MLG Potato 360 No Scopes. Shrek and Donkey were finally together, and they lived for a couple of months until... Okay, I've already found grammatical errors right here. Okay, Shrek and Donkey were finally together, and they lived for a couple of months until Shrek got a letter in the mail from the local doctor. As Shrek opened it, he gasped. He gasped, and then cried. Donkey asked him what was wrong, but Shrek had just handed him the paper, and then Donkey gasped, and I can't speak. Wait, starting back from the beginning, getting a drink of bleach. Shrek and Donkey were finally together, and they lived for a couple of months until Shrek got a letter in the mail from the local doctor. As Shrek opened it, he gasped, and then cried. Donkey asked him what was wrong, but Shrek just handed him the paper, and then Donkey gasped, and then began to cry as well. The letter read, Dearest Shrek, today I am sad to inform you that during your last checkup, there seemed to be something wrong with you. While looking further into it, it seemed that you have a rare disease known as onion cancer from eating too many onions. I am also sad to inform that you are a fag. Lol. You have 3 months to live. My deepest apologies. The doctor. JK, what it really said was, Dear Shrek, you has onion cancer, and you as a faggot. Bye to doctor. They cried for a while, then realized that they had to spend their last moments together. Chapter 2. As Shrek grew sadder and sadder, every minute he realized what he had to do. He had to break the news to everyone. He started with his children, which took 2 months and a week, so now he only had 3 weeks. He told everyone else, which took him 5 minutes. Jesus Christ. Shrek got another letter in the mail telling him that he may be a little gassy for the next few days. Shrek's fart smelled like onions, so every time he farted, everyone cried. Even Shrek let out a few tears. Tears of joy, but still tears. So after minutes of making out with Donkey, he realized that they must express their love another way. So Shrek farted onion juice onto Donkey's waffles so they could always be inside of each other. Then they vomited horribly for 3 hours. After the horrible vomiting, they knew that they should dispose of Shrek's farts somehow. So they went to the internet's mall and ordered a Putin butt plug. But these would not work well because Shrek's farts were too powerful and blew Putin out of his butt. Well, I guess this would have been handy on my way here. Lol, mate, like and subscribe for more funny jokes, lol. They decided that in their last days they would go to their favorite places, the Onion Factory, the Waffle Factory, and Will Smith's bathroom. They began their journey taking only all of their children, Donkey's banana peel, and Shrek's shirtless third grade collection. Oh, and they took some onions and waffles. Their first destination was the Onion Factory. It was in the forest, near where Satan and Sonic had built a house. So they went to visit them on their way. Shrek went to car form and they drove for about 2 hours before they arrived. They found them because there was a huge forest fire surrounding the place. As Shrek entered Satan... What? Who the fuck made this? It's so wrong. As Shrek entered, Satan ran up and hugged him. "I'm so sorry," said Satan. "It's okay," whispered Shrek. They had some angels for lunch and chatted for a bit. After a couple of minutes of chatting with Satan, said they... I'm not reading this is too wrong. It's like a fucking 3-year-old just made it. Give me another one. I'm not reading something that 3-year-old made.
Okay, how about I give you Esron fanfictions on the server?
God damn it. Fine.
Well, there are 3 of them. There's 2 of Raven and 1 of BB. Which one do you want?
Let's go with BB.
I.
Looks like. The hell are you guys making me do? First Bally, now me.
XD.
Opening. Oh god. Yeah, I'm gonna read the disclaimer because it's so cringy and funny. Here we go. Big Brothers Meet. This story is property of the author Ezro Curious. Any and all distribution of this story without the expressed permission of the author is liable for legal action. All terms and conditions apply. If you do not read this, if you're underage, find this offensive. The story is a mini lemon between myself and a friend, which I've met on the Discord server. Any reference to real life is coincidence, and in no way is there a connection between me, author, and you, reader, unless, of course, you are any of the people in the story. This is an excerpt from a bigger story I'm currently creating. I usually make the sex scenes when I'm horny, and the rest is whenever I have free time. You can guess what I was feeling when I made this story. Constructive criticism is encouraged and will be taken into account, so please send away. Flaming, on the other hand, will be disregarded, and a sender may not very well die a horrible death in my stories or real life. Thank you for reading. Okay, so... Zoom. Oh, fuck's sake, Mercy's here. It could have been worse, I thought as I turned over in my bed to look up at the moon. Henlo was asleep in his single bed down the end with Big Brother in the middle with me down the other end. There was only a foot of dividing the 3 of us, and Henlo was fast asleep. I was thinking over the day that had passed and hadn't noticed the small movements from the bed next to me. I had my back turned away as I stared through the curtain into the moonlight filtering down upon my face. Slowly, I turned around and was met with a delicious sight. BB had pulled his blankets down to reveal his naked body along with his cock on full display. He was stroking it slowly as I looked on with decreasing astonishment and increasing lust. "He's asleep," BB whispered, referring to Henlo down the other end. I wouldn't have cared either way. If he was watching, he could have learnt a few tips from me and BB. I was transfixed by BB's naked state. He was staring at me, and I almost got trapped in his gaze before moving down his body. First his tense pecs as he displayed his cock with both hands, then to his rising and falling abs as he breathed heavily. His beautiful cock was pulsing, and his hands glided up and down upon it. He stopped at the head, pulled the skin down, and began to play with the underside. He moaned as his cock spewed pre-cum out of its tip. It glowed in the moonlight just like the rest of his smooth body, as his milk chocolate skin was covered in a sheen of sweat from his exertion. Your god wants you to please him, Ezrons, so get over here and please me, BB growled, while staring me down. He was younger than me, but damn his voice and look was scaring me and turning me on at the same time. Amen, I replied as I got out of bed as quietly as possible and got between his knees. He was even hotter up close, especially since he was staring down at with that same intense look in his eyes. The moon was beaming down from the window above us, and as I looked up it seemed to be directly behind his cock as it cast a shadow on my face. It was beating in a rhythm that was hypnotizing me as I watched it move in his hands. I grasped his hands and moved them out of the way as I leaned up and let my tongue move from his balls up to his head. His body tensed as his head flew up on his pillow while his cock leaked more pre-cum onto his stomach. Oh God, Ezrons, all that teasing over Discord wasn't bullshit. You really can suck a cock, he breathed out as I took his cock in my mouth. I smiled, I reply as I busied myself with his cock on my tongue and in my mouth. I wanted to make this slow for the both of us. He was hoping to see my skills as I was willing to give. Me, I just wanted a release from it today. All these new people were overwhelming, and this was a good way to refocus myself. By sucking dick. I ran my hands slowly up and down his body while my head bobbed on his cock. He tasted marvelous, and every feature of his cock was perfect for me. I could feel it all as my tongue and lips traveled down his cock. Just as a heads up, he's making quite a few mistakes on the spelling. The pre-cum from his tip, the ridge of his head, first vein, second vein, third vein. His pipe on the underside as it pulsed more nectar into my throat, then the root. Oh fuck, he cried, a bit too loudly as I swallowed on his dick. I hummed quietly while his dick remained down my throat. I think we had both made a silent agreement to try not to wake up Henlo and everyone else in the other rooms, but it was proving difficult while I hummed Highway to Hell on his cock and riddled the bed whispering loudly. He gripped my head and throat and began to face fuck me hard as he squeezed my throat while his dick made an obscene bulge. His eyes were in his head and his body was dripping in sweat as the moon still trickled its harsh light onto the both of us. It shined on his beautiful body and I could tell he was getting close from his erratic behavior. BB, what's that sound? Henlo whispered as he turned slowly to face us. BB froze, before pulling the blanket over my head and his torso while putting a pillow next to my head to mask the shape of my head under the blanket. What sound? He said with a strained voice. I could see his face from under the blanket as he looked from Henlo to me as he seemed to plead with me. Wait, please, he seemed to mentally say to me with his eyes. I wasn't listening, though. He was so sure of himself at the start with his god bullshit. I was going to pleasure my god, regardless of any onlookers, as I began to fuck my face on his cock as the blanket shook. I don't know, it sounded like weird slap, Henlo said before he was interrupted. Oh fuck, BB moaned, trying to conceal his pleasure. I gave him a reprisal as I got off his dick and tongued his balls slowly. He seemed angry, but I smiled back at him. Are you okay? And where's Ezrons? His dick was getting thicker and his sack was swelling. I knew what was coming before he even did. I'm fine, but I think Ezrons has gone outside for a drink or something. Oh my god, BB screamed. As I took his cock to the root and began to bounce my face on his cock, I hummed and opened my mouth to make the sound echo louder throughout the room. What's wrong? Are you sure you're okay? Henlo said as he slowly got up from his bed. I'm fine, shit, BB heaved as he looked down onto me. He looked pissed as his brown eyes seemed to be shooting daggers before his eyes rolled back and closed. That's the sound I was talking about, Henlo announced, confused. I pulled the blanket off and saw Henlo's face distort in surprise before into one of an amused smile, I winked at him before twisting my head on BB's cock. He came back to reality to find no blanket and Henlo watching. You fucking shit, we're caught, BB yelled as he grabbed my hair and head. It seemed like he didn't care soon after as he spun us around. Now he was sitting up and I was underneath him, with his cock suffocating me. He looked beautiful as his muscles danced in the moonlight. I moaned while he seemed to do push-ups on my face. He definitely didn't care anymore as Henlo watched on in rapt interest, while BB began to sink his whole body onto my face before pulling his body up and repeating, "You're a bitch, you know that. Now the whole fucking house will know what we've done." BB angrily growled. I moaned and smiled, and it pissed him off more as he moved even faster on top of me. I was entranced by everything, in that moment as he destroyed my face. Down, his muscles rippling in my face. Up, Henlo watching like a boy at a candy store. Down, his dick was raging in my throat while it streamed pre-cum straight into my stomach. Up, his dick separated from my mouth as he smiled, and I smiled back. Down, and his cock let loose an ocean of cum in my throat. The awkward position of my face and his cock made it hurt for my throat as his dick straightened in it during every shot. He hummed slowly as he breathlessly whispered, "Yes, yes, yes." He raised himself up out of my mouth, and as it left with a pop, I could see the saliva and cum dripping off it as he quickly reached up to clean it off. He whimpered and smiled from the sensitivity as he climbed off of me. I wiped the rest of his cum from my face and got up and approached Henlo. Henlo, I smiled down at him. "Maybe next time," I happily stated. I wasn't keen on doing anything with someone so young. "They probably heard us," BB stated in an annoyed tone. "I'm counting on it," I replied as I climbed into bed and drifting off to sleep, almost instantly dreaming of the next couple of weeks with all these boys. Finn. As in, it's finished. You can unmute yourself.
Cancer.
Yes.
Someone shoot me.
Yeah, BB. How do you think I felt when Bali was reading my one?
Wait, you made a fanfiction as well?
No, Ezron.
He read the one that I made of him.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wait, the one with your girlfriend?
Yeah.
Ah.
I quite like the fact that you guys are reading my fanfictions. This is
Nigga, I'm eating breakfast and I'm hearing this.
Okay, so if anybody has anything else that is not, well, something normal.
Read the... Never mind, nothing.
Oh, I know. Something quick and simple, just to fill in the time.
You can read out my...
What? What'd you say, Mercy? I think Mercy.exe has stopped working. Yeah, Mercy.exe has definitely stopped working. Like, send it to me in text chat what you want to say, because I didn't hear what you said.
For what of mind.
What? Oh, hell no. I'm not reading that.
Hello, guys.
Pyro, I am not reading that. Okay, how about the AKM? In Russian, the Автомат Kalashnikova Modernizирование, translated into Modernized Automatic Kalashnikov, is a 7.62mm assault rifle designed by Mikhail Kalashnikov. It is a common modernized variant of the AK-47 rifle developed in the 1940s. Introduced into service with the Soviet Army in 1959, the AKM is the most ubiquitous variant of the entire AK series of firearms, and it has found widespread use with most member states of the former Warsaw Pact, and its African and Asian allies, as well as being widely exported and produced in many other countries. The production of these Soviet rifles was carried out at both the Tula Arms plant and Izhmash. It was officially replaced in Soviet frontline service by the AK-74 in the late 1970s, but remains in use worldwide.
Stalker. Stalker,
Mm-hmm.
read the Communist Manifesto.
Oh my god.
These are the means of production.
Read the
Why you do this
Declaration
to me?
of Independence. Okay. Dino.
Okay, no, get Dino out of here. Yeah, Mercy, I would, but... My voice plus emotions, no. So,
Die.
I'm already planning on it.
Kek,
Hello.
you've changed your name to Farmer.
What?
You've changed your name to Farmer.
Okay, yeah, intermission while I find something.